Welcome back to the VCT Game Changers APAC Academy September edition. My name is Grammy, and joining me today is Datum. How are you feeling today?
So happy to be back here. We have a fresh set of teams this month here, Grammy, and I'm super excited for the matches that we have in at hand here. Do note, guys, that we are already deep into the playoffs. This is the upper bracket, or rather, the first matchup that we will be showcasing will be in the upper bracket round number 3, and then afterwards we still have two matches to be showcased after that as well. And let's get right into it. Let's take a look at the teams that we have registered for the academy this September. Got the first matchup is going to be Hurricanes versus NoGameSens. It is in the upper bracket round number 3 already, and the teams are going to be competing for a total prize pool of 500 US dollars here, Grammy. So competition really tight.
Yeah, definitely agree with you right there. I mean, all these players, we do see a couple of players who are no stranger to the VCT Game Changers APAC Academy
Mm,
itself. But I do believe there are a couple of new names that I saw when taking a look at the roster and the teams list there. Malding is one of the familiar names that I remember, and Chicken Kebab, actually, we haven't, I don't think we've seen them before, so I do think they might be a force to be reckoned with here. But we are going to be covering the upper bracket round 3 first,
yes.
Hurricanes versus NoGameSens. And what do you think of this matchup, Matt?
I feel like it's gonna be fully action packed. That's the only thing I'm sure of. You did mention Malding being one of the teams that has had that experience before coming into this month. Unfortunately, they will be going for the lower bracket run after losing their first round best of one. However, they are performing pretty well. I mean, so far after that first round loss, they haven't lost a single game, and they're looking perfect so far. Meanwhile, for the match we have at hand, Hurricanes and No Game Sense, both of these teams have yet to have a single loss. That signals to me that both of them are so ready for this upcoming match, and I can't wait to see what both teams have to offer, especially because Grammy Champions is currently ongoing and so much strats are on full showcase, particularly in newer maps like Pearl, where we saw a lot of strats being shown up by one of my favorite teams, of course, one of our favorite teams, Paper Rex. Oh, by the way, unfortunately, it hasn't been able to get into the playoffs, but still. A lot of amazing stuff shown in champions in general, and unfortunately, we will not be showcasing Pearl for our first game of the day. Instead, we're going into Fracture. And speaking of the map, ready for the agent select screen here, Grammy. So, what do you expect to see here in this map?
Fracture itself is it gives you so much opportunity to come up with pretty innovative strats in terms of your depending on your team composition, right? So maybe if you're running a neon, you could really catch those timings, the rotation timings coming in for the opponent team, because neon, her core kit is to get her in places that you don't expect her to be with her speed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And looking at Hurricanes, they're gonna be locking in the Brimstone as well as the Viper, so double controller composition. What do you think of this?
I mean, of course, this is a thing that is sort of reminiscent of uh, a sort of safer kind of playstyle, right? It's either a choice of a neon or a raise, and then you build that composition around those two duelists. And in this case, the neon, a little bit more on the safer route, especially with the covers that both controllers offer, and of course, having a
Select your
cipher,
agent.
well, gives that extra layer of security towards the defense and looking for the lurks. I do wonder though why Hurricanes prefer having a cipher over that chamber. Chamber is a staple here in Fracture just because of the amount of, I guess, versatility that chamber does offer, even with the recent changes to the headhunter and of course the nerfs to the tour de force as well. Chamber is still top notch, particularly here in Fracture because of the trademark as well. Speaking of chamber, no game sense going for the more, I guess, standard route. They're going for the raise into the chamber combo. So I guess this really shows the difference between the playstyle between over or both of our teams. Right. On the one hand, you got a neon that's a little bit more safe, a little bit more utility sided. And on the other, you've got very heavy fragging potential. And of course, you got that classic fade into the raise combo.
I do I do want to talk about a difference in initiators though.
Mm,
I think Hurricanes they picked up the KO, and on the side of NoGameSens they actually went in for the breach.
yeah.
So this is pretty interesting because with KO you do get information of your utility like the 0 point, and for breach you're not really able to find that information as easily
Mm-hmm.
because all your abilities are kind of just stuns and flashes utility that helps your team get onto site, and instead of looking for the initial information, which I do think they can get in the form of the chamber trademark as well as the raise boom bot. But on the attacking side they might have to body check everything in this sense.
Yeah. I actually stand corrected. They don't actually have a fade. As you pointed out, they do have the breach. So this actually is what is really the standard here in Fracture. Some teams do go for the fade, but breach, of course, doubles down on sort of like the tempo. Because that's, I feel like, one of the things that's underappreciated when you go in maps like Fracture. The tempo that you have to play is very, very unique compared to other maps, and the breach really plays well into setting that tempo. Speaking of which, it seems like NoGameSens have decided they're going to commit into this B site. Yowen is the one holding the line here. Camera has been taken out. Be spotting out a couple of these members coming in into sight. Decent amount of utility already used up. And the wall, not signaling yet whether they are going to commit into here. Camera finally getting taken down. AO Wind doesn't really spot anyone coming in, but he hears a lot of this noise. And the plant, here it is, Remy.
Spike planted.
Plant going down, retake is on 5v5 in the pistol round as well. And it seems like all these players on the side of Hurricanes, they're coming in from CT already. First pick going the way of Hurricanes, but NGS fire back with 3 of their
One
own.
enemy remaining.
As the trades come through, it's all up to AON to try and go in for this defuse here. Spike tap coming through as well. Gets the first, but she made to find the second. She does! 3 kills in the round to pick up the pistol round for her team.
Great little recovery there for AO Wind. It was a pretty quick execute actually for Hurricanes. Then NoGameSens, or rather quick execute from NoGameSens, then a quick rotate from Hurricanes, and actually went down pretty quickly, trimmed down to a 1v2. And the things AO Wind left
One enemy
clean
remaining.
things up for her team, which it does so very, very nicely here with 40 HP to spare. There goes the first round for Hurricanes, and I guess it's one of the things as well that really is I think you have to be careful of in a composition such as this that NoGameSens is running, is the post plant defense is not necessarily as strong as you would hope. I mean, sure, make it easier to get into sight with the breach utility, but if you don't really get those opening picks on the post plant defense, it's really hard to keep in control of that site.
Yeah, I do agree with you there. I mean, in terms of post plant, they do have a couple of post plant utility in the form of the snake bite, the incendiary, as well as the paint shells. I think Fnatic was one of the teams who play the fractured lineups with those 3 agents. They are all the utility, but it seems like NoGameSens they're actually using this utility to go in for the execute instead of playing for the post plant.
Exactly. This time though, taking things a little bit slowly. There's utility that you've mentioned. I don't think they have the luxury of picking that up this time because they barely have any firepower to work with. A couple of snake bites actually in their hands, but get Periwinkle unable to even secure a couple of bullets.
Oh no.
Oh no, Fairly. He's getting pummeled by all of that breach util.
30 seconds left.
She's gonna be staying relatively safe here. Not a lot of guns, remember, in their side, but they still will be able to pick her up. And opening up A site now, Smoke's getting laid out, walls already down, and Kiddle looking to take them down before the plant even goes down. Playing with fire a little bit here as Satsui goes in against Moonfall. Picks up a second, and suddenly NoGameSens looking to secure this round for themselves. Satsui down to 3 HP. The flashpoint certainly going to make it easier for them to hold the line here against the last 2 members of Hurricanes. Neo Wind in the same spot that she found herself in the last round. Flashbang comes out, but Atsui for the 3K. Yo Wind picks up a second, but that's about it. That's all she gets. The Thrifty is done for NoGameSens, and they convert to round number 2.
The crossfire coming in for NoGameSens was really strong in that situation because you literally had players playing on default as well as the from A main. So for the players of Hurricanes coming onto site, they had basically a whole semicircle in front of them to look.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
it was a really difficult situation for them, and especially since Atsui, she actually picked up a Spectre that was dropped by one of the players of Hurricanes and found 2 picks of her own there, which really helped them to open up the site. And this time around, NoGameSens losing, they're able to buy up a couple of rifles. Kiddo actually going aggressive here, spots out the players of NoGameSens all waiting for them to get completely shut down.
Yeah. Seems like they've done their homework here, Grammy. Knew exactly what Hurricanes' plan was. Just like that, they shut down the aggression. 4 members down already, and last person standing, AO Wind, only has a sheriff. Does have the ult, but I don't think she's gonna be committing that
Spike
anytime soon.
planted.
She does have pretty good idea of where everyone is all in sight. She's not even gonna make the connect on the first shot. So it's Zenny, who will 2-1 on the board. No game sense, looking stellar in the first 3 rounds of the game here. I mean, it was a pretty rocky start, but right after this, look, they just waited. Actually, they didn't even wait for a lot of time. They just waited for a couple of seconds and knew that something was in the works for Hurricanes, and read it perfectly here where they're exactly gonna be coming from. And I gotta say, a real good job as well, not letting anyone fall down, really denying all of those upgrades from the hands of Hurricanes, who this time playing a pseudo-aggressive triple stack in A, but not really the best of reads, as well already laid down in B site.
Rolling doesn't come through. Aowen gets knocked up. She's been spotted as well, tagged up and taken down. Zenny able to open up the site for her team. The rotation's coming through once
planted.
again. They're going in for this retake from CT, right?
Yeah.
Which I don't think it might not be the best situation for them because they're coming in from not a lot of angles, and that just means that NoGameSens, they have less to focus on. And you see Zenny already picked up another ult to Kiddo. Gonna go in for the third, but Seraphine
enemy
picks it up
remaining.
instead here.
What?
And suddenly the retake gets shut down.
Exactly. I mean, we're all coming out from one angle only. The wall goes down, and there you have it. Periwinkle to shut down Moonfall and shut down Hurricanes. The second time that they bought their guns. That is actually very, very methodic there for Hurricanes. But honestly, not a lot they can do there. And I guess it really boils down to the difference in composition. This is why the comp that NoGameSens is running is the more standard of the two, because the sheer amount of utility that they have to slice these opens wide open is very, very hard to withstand. We saw it right there. Eowyn just knocked up in the air, concussed for days, unable to do anything despite using everything in her arsenal to try and stay alive. Really is showcasing just how powerful Breach is in this map. Viper Spit committed actually into a site despite not having a lot of firepower. Hurricanes is showing early signs here of just trying to save the game before it really falls apart. Will it work though, Grammy?
Is the question. Periwinkle feet gonna get spotted out by Aowind on the B side, so they're aware that there could be a lurk coming through as well. The Spike actually gonna be rotating towards the B side off the back of this Viper Split. I don't think the players of NoGameSens, they really want to contest into this at all.
Yeah. Still making a lot of noise in A though, because they really want to draw a lot of attention into A site, and for the most part, it seems to be working. 3 people here from Hurricanes down in A. That should double
30
down
seconds
or
left.
triple down on security. You know, the spike is
Oh no.
into B. Periwinkle opens up tower in B site. That just like that, they take control of the site without really a lot of effort. A lot of ultimates being committed here. Carry Poppy is stripped down to 50 HP as she's gonna have to back on out
10 seconds left.
before pushing down the ult. Actually, the Molly gonna buy enough time, and that's it. Hurricanes have already won the round by pure utility, and Moonfall picks up another kill as well.
What an amazing round coming in from Hurricanes right there. What was that? A thrifty round coming through. Just as you mentioned, Tatum, just based off the utility, the Viper Spit, it just stalled so much time for the for the players of Hurricanes, because NoGameSens, they were just kind of kept at bay, and even though they did manage to open up the B site, the utility that Hurricanes had, the Orbital Strike as well as the Incendiary, it was able to just stall just enough time for the spike to not go down, and insane round coming in from Hurricanes right there. So
Yeah, definitely showing that they've done their homework as well, right?
yeah,
They knew that GameSense wanted to go for that type of playstyle and immediately used all of their OTs to deny that plant. Fairly, at the receiving end of things, just under in the site. This time around, no GameSense are struggling a little to get into sight. There goes the Showstopper at Sui with the first contact, but the lineup is just not there. Showstopper goes wide, but Zenny opens up the site either way for the 2v4. Now remember, this is the gun round for Hurricanes once more, and they seem to be faltering here without their ultimates. And AOWin, this is, I believe, the third round that AOWin has had that ulti up. Okay, she will be able to pick up Zenny, but this task seems too big of an order here, Grim. Can she pull through with a 1v3? I don't think so. To be quite honest, there's no way.
Very
There's no
tall
way.
task for here
Yeah.
for her pushing out of this CT position with the cyber cage though. Neurotheft gonna come through, but instantly she gets shut down, her head taken off as well as the hat, and NoGameSens, they take round 4. And I think what's interesting is that Hurricanes, even though they have utility to try and gather early information, they're not really committing to it. And especially with this Neon,
Yeah.
you have the potential to go aggressive on the defense, especially to try and gather information as well, but they're not exactly doing that. So it all comes down to when NoGameSens, they go in for this execute, right? The Hurricane players, they don't have the read on them at all.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
this time around, NoGameSens, the tour de force being popped. What can Periwinkle find here?
And it's sort of like the recurring pattern, right? Whenever NoGameSens takes control of site, they seem to take the round every single time. And that might be the key here for Hurricanes. Not give the side away, but we've seen them try time and time again. Moonfall finds another with the Molly. That's the third of this game. The Mollies have been on point here. And she finds another one as well. Seraphine goes down. And suddenly the Thrifty is in the works.
Oh,
What is happening here? The Sheriffs are forced to be reckoned with. Okay, Atsui strikes back with 2. She does have the Rolling Thunder again once more, but she doesn't have the Spike. Atsui with another. And Periwinkle to save the round for NoGameSens. There you have it once more. Atsui with another huge round. We have to see that again. Those Sheriffs, though, making it so possible here. We're almost coming back, but the Rolling Thunder from Atsui making it impossible to find anything more. That's final kill for Periwinkle. 5-2 is the scoreline now. NoGameSens. All things considered, Grammy, their attacking side here has so far been perfect, apart from the thrifty rounds for some weird reason.
I mean, I think they did have the right intention. It's just that the utility usage coming in from Hurricanes, it was, I guess, a bit more unpredictable in that sense. I don't think NoGameSens, they really expected Hurricanes to commit so many ultimates, especially on a thrifty round like that.
Yeah.
But because they took that unexpected move, that was what won them the round. So I do think Hurricanes, they might have to play into this kind of unexpectedness to be able to catch the players of NoGameSens off and find a couple of picks here and there, and that might be the key to them winning a couple more rounds on the defense.
Yeah. They do a lot of things here. I mean, they haven't actually gone for a full-on 5v5 retake. That is not a thrifty round. Perhaps that could be key, but we've seen how hard they've struggled going for that route before. However, just because of the kills that Moonfall has picked up in the past few rounds, Shorty got the orbital strike again for the second time here. So that should be something that NoGameSens have noted this time. Remember the last time that they sort of lost track of the orbital strike? So they sort of paid big time for it. But it's another slow approach from NoGameSens this time. 4 in A, 1 in B site, and Hurricanes might have just gotten the read right this time around.
Will they be able to stall them is the question here, though. Especially with this utility that is able to clear out the site. The players of Hurricanes, they might just get pushed out here.
Right there.
Sui already preparing this aftershock. Once again, coming through.
Look at Fei Li. Oh, she holds the line, trying to mow them all down. She does get one, but it's super to find the second, or rather the 2 following kills. Sui still manages to force her way into sight though, but there is no ulti available. Periwinkle making that a little bit awkward, but now it's a 1v1. She knows where Periwinkle is at, so time is of the essence here. All she has to do is buy as much as she can, but Periwinkle pushes on. She has to push up, and there you have it.
Swings out. Round coming through for Hurricanes right there. Kidult picks up the clutch. So third round off on the board off the back of a timeout. Not that bad, but it was a pretty heavy investment coming in though.
30 seconds left. One enemy remaining.
And I feel like a lot of that success that was found by Hurricanes there was just a tiny adjustment of Fei Li not going for the hell route, instead going for the stairs position. Just denying all of that utility from Atsui made sure that they still had that one anchor in sight, and that minuscule adjustment, Grammy, in their defense there made the massive difference. They actually won the round this time around, but Eco still not looking good. Kiddo pushing up. Shots do not connect though. It's Periwinkle to shut Kiddo down.
Seems like the Axis is coming in on the other side of the map though, but 0 Point gonna spot out 3 players, so Hurricanes, they're actually aware of this. Fei Li, she's gonna actually push the issue here on these players of NoGameSens. It seems like NoGameSens, they want to go in to this execute themselves. Oh, okay, Poison Orb to try and hide away from this trademark here. If these players of NoGameSens, they don't go in for this execute. Oh! Oh no!
Oh no, Fei Li. Everything was riding on that for Hurricanes. Oh, she played it so well too, using the smoke to deny the trademark pop, but either way, NoGameSens. She gets the plant off. Orbital strike again denies carry Poppy of the plant. For sure, there is going to be a Molly lineup here, but time is ticking away. Hurricanes 2v5. NoGameSens will be able to get the plant down, so that might have been a futile attempt anyway. Moonfall does only have the Aries, okay, finally getting the kill onto Atsui, but still tall order here. Zenny's 1 HP. I don't think she's got any clue that Zenny is 1 HP, but
right here.
She have a pretty good idea of where they both are at. Ping's now coming out, watching the right angles as well. 161 bullet, and Zenny is the one to shut Moonfall down. NoGameSens 6 on the board now, Graham.
For Zenny, it doesn't matter if she has 5 health or 150. She's able to get a kill anyway, but Fei Li, everything was going right for her in that situation up until the point where she ran into the players of NoGameSens themselves, and unfortunately, a little bit of a difficult situation as well because you have 2 targets now, right? It's a bit of a tough decision on who you should fire at or where you should fire at. But unfortunately for her, she was unable to connect the shots in that situation. NoGameSens already on 6 points on the board. You have a couple of ultimates here to play with as well. The showstopper already coming online.
Yeah. Pressure really showing now onto Hurricanes. I mean, Presley had an amazing opportunity there. Here we go, though. The execute happening just so quickly from Zenny. Response to actually the laser finger
Oh, no.
of death, but Zenny explodes that neon away. And suddenly, it's a 3v2. Actually, Hurricanes put themselves in a pretty decent spot,
Spike
despite,
planted.
again, being just on the sheriffs. Of course, because it is the eco, Hurricanes don't really have any of the utility, or rather, as much utility as they hoped they could, but you found decent damage here. And all things considered, it's already been a somewhat expensive round for NoGameSens, so just looking for more of that expense to be dealt. AWIN forces her way in, but the bullets are just not enough. Carry Poppy to shut it down. NoGameSens 7 on the board now, Grammy, and again, Hurricanes seem to be finding a lot of this damage on the thrifty rounds, and I feel like that's because Hurricanes are the least iffy on those rounds, because they feel like that those are the rounds where they have the least to lose, right? And I feel like that's
Yeah.
one of the underlying factors of these type of games, is that because these are best of ones, there's a lot of pressure riding on these players' shoulders. So
Yeah.
once you got the guns, you're kind of expected to perform, and in that aspect, Hurricanes sort of haven't adapted as well as they could have yet.
Careful here.
This read from NoGameSens is pretty good though. Zenny already picking up first blood. Kid out falls. And suddenly, this B side is completely open for the taking. It's all up
Yeah.
to Fayley, but she's holding Arcade where none of the players of NoGameSens are gonna be here. So this might be a difficult situation. The 0 point though coming through. Might spot out a couple of players here as well. Is this fragment to try and stall this push from coming through? It's pretty good though. But on the opposite side of the map itself, the chamber, Periwinkle, she's trying to make her way onto the
No.
A side. Seraphine picks up the kill onto Fayley. Numbers advantage in the favor of NoGameSens as well, as the spike is gonna be making its way onto the A side.
Yeah. Quick rotate from Hurricanes, not really the best of ideas there, as it leaves a site wide open. And it's a free plant for NoGameSens. Just like that, they switch up their targets. And now there is a lurk coming for Hurricanes. They've got to watch out for this lurk from behind, otherwise they're going to pay big time for it. But going to go for the execute. Flash drive comes out. Ifus going in for the peek. Okay, they pick up a 2-for-1. But Periwinkle, she's just a turret here. And Atsui won't even be needing Zenny's help, because NoGameSens now 8-3
Last
on
round
the
in the
board. It's
half.
the last round in the half. And Hurricanes, the reserve type of playstyle that they have been showing here, Grammy, not working out so far.
Player standing.
And I see it right here, Moonfall. It was a pretty nice attempt at the retake, but ultimately not enough against the post plant that is NoGameSens.
Right there.
And look at the eco here for Hurricanes. It's all over the place, but they do have a couple of ults available, 3 at that to be exact. So maybe they could pull off another miracle here. Oh, there you go.
Kiddo already going aggressive off the back of the
Yeah.
Nalcom and picks up that first kill onto Periwinkle. That's a weapon retrieved as well. It seems like she wants to go in for more, so these players of NoGameSens, they're gonna be completely surrounded here. Paint shells coming through for Zenny. Now orbital strike as well to try and clear out the side. Moonfall though picks up the kill onto Atsui. Oh!
Oh!
How
Okay.
did she get that?
Yeah, still wins the fight. But here we go, AO win the 2v1. They don't really have to peek this, but Bailey, she wants blood, and she's gonna pay for it. Now Carry Poppy has a doable task at hand. AO win is only around 50 health. And the timing! Carry Poppy gets it. Rough Theft is only going to confirm AO's suspicions that Carry Poppy's still right in front of her! But the time! Carry Poppy has the luxury of it, so Eowyn now has been turned around for her. And the Viper Spit's gonna make it so much harder for Eowyn to push up, but Brody 1 HP anyway. She spots Carry, but Carry still wins the fight. NoGameSens take themselves to 9 and Hurricanes. It was a
sides.
pretty solid attempt. But Grammy, they changed one thing. I mean, the way that they've been playing this defense is that they play the defense so reservedly, right? Hurricanes, the
Yeah.
moment they step it up, just a single bit of aggression, they make it work. But because of a couple of misplays, GameSense turned it around. And again, they secure the round.
I think not only that, Hurricanes. That was their last defending round, right? So
Yeah.
even though they figured out, okay, maybe going aggressive on the defense is a bit of a better play here, it's too far too late to try and go in for
Exactly.
more. So 3 rounds is all they get on their defense, but let's see if they have anything to say on their offense instead.
Have to wait and see. If the post-plant retake is of any indication, it's not really looking at the best of shapes. But it's all going to boil down into this pistol round. It really pivots just how much momentum they can translate into this attack, especially because they're going into the attacking side. We have of more importance. There's contact. No kills coming through as of yet. Smokes now being laid out. Signals that the push is about to happen here in B's side. But Ifis does go down. Seraphine with a couple of nice spams. Picks up 2 kills. Smokes will be coming down, but look at the numbers getting thinned out here by Hurricanes. 2v3 now, but Kidult goes massive. Hurricanes at least they take control of site, but for how long can they keep control of it? Periwinkle doesn't get the shots quite off. And Kidult with an amazing pistol, 45 HP. He's off to find more.
Oh.
The 4K, the ace. She might be getting it here. A 2 will be going on for the kill, but does she know where Kidult is going to be coming from? Slide is still available. Timing is going to be off. Massive importance here. And Kidult looking prime and ready to get it. 19 HP. I know she has to play time, but she's unable to do so. Atsui pick up the 10th round for NoGameSens, but it was so close for Hurricanes.
Is that the best you've got?
Kidult really going in big right there. Unfortunately, it was a little bit of a misplay towards the end, unable to finish. Unable to play the time, and NoGameSens off the back of that, they do pick up double digits as well as the economic advantage coming into this next round. They're able to buy up all these factors as well as the utility. So I think Hurricanes, this round is just for them to try and do as much economic damage as possible to the players of NoGameSens, but it might be a little bit difficult here, especially with this utility, the amount of stalling utility that the players of NoGameSens have in the form of the Viper, the Breach, the Raze, everyone in fact. We see the fault line coming through already. Atsui seems to be aware that there could be a couple of players outside of A here waiting.
So up above reveals her position. By a lot of time here, but the boom bot shuts down Kidult. No fancy plays this time for Neon, but look at how far up. Look at how much time, rather, they've already spent trying to creep up into a site. Not really amounting to anything just because of a single piece of utility. And this is really one of the biggest differences here that sets the pace here for both of these teams is just the sheer amount of stuff that NoGameSens can throw at Hurricanes without having to risk anything. Because of the way their comp works is making the biggest difference for NoGameSens and Hurricanes. Of course, this is a pistol, so it's pretty expected for Hurricanes to not have the probability of winning this round. It's Seraphine, though, emerging from the smokes. Not really connecting with the shots, but it's okay. Her teammates have got her. And it's a flawless for NoGameSens. 11 on the board now. And I gotta say, Grammy, the attack, it really has to shape up better in this buy round for Hurricanes.
It really does. This buy round is gonna be
Everything. It's everything.
everything. Essentially everything that
Yeah.
the Hurricanes have in the bank right now. For NoGameSens, that was the best situation that they could have had, right? Bringing all these Spectres into this bonus. And these Spectres, though, they are going to be pretty effective in this A side, especially since with all these close corners. So Hurricanes, they have to play these longer angles and try and find a couple of picks. Initially, I do think that should be the play here, but
Oh,
Zenny already picking up one onto Aowen.
oh
Oh
no!
no!
Super flashes herself,
down
and
A.
Zanny still hasn't cleared out here. Gonna die to her own paint shields, of course, but Moonfall is all alone now. 1v4. Spike is in the middle of nowhere. Of course, does have a couple of smokes, but not any help. Not any help either. And she's getting pushed up from both sides. Seraphine to close out the round. 12-3, NoGameSens. Looking to make this
Match point.
game looking to end this game as quickly as they could. And Zenny,
enemy
oh,
remaining.
that's such an unfortunate turn of events there for Zuper. Able to get the timing quite off of her own flash drive. And you can see the cracks here starting to show for Hurricanes, Grammy. 3-12. The gun round, as you said, it was everything. And now, well, they don't have a lot. Dare say they don't have anything.
They do have a couple of ultimates on their back though. The overdrive as well as the
I
Viper's
guess.
Pit.
I guess so, yeah.
If they're able to utilize that, there could be a chance for them to come back into this, especially since this time around Hurricanes, they're actually going for a split push instead.
Okay.
Fairly already picking up the first onto carry Pappy. That's the Viper shut
Oh,
down by
no.
the paint shells. Oh no, Zenny picks up two, completely shutting down that advancement as Sui for two as well. And Zenny Showstopper does not connect, but her shot does, and NoGameSens, they pick up the game, closing it out 13-3.
Oh, 13-3. NoGameSens. Just like that. They finished our first game of the day. Such a decisive game for them. And of course, well, I feel like the biggest difference maker there, Grammy, was their composition, essentially. Because of the way Hurricanes drafted their comp, it's sort of they have to play slow, right? And I talk about how the tempo is really important here in Fracture in particular. They don't really have the luxury of picking up the pace. They only had very limited options when it comes to the tempo because they have to take time clearing each and every one of these corners. Unlike NGS, who has the luxury of just throwing up a boom bot, throwing out everything that the breach had, and certainly made it easier for them to become the aggressor in this matchup. And it showed just how quickly NGS was able to both shut down the defense and shut down the offense of Hurricanes. And the scoreline reflects it as well. NoGameSens just has this map figured out, and it's absolutely beautiful to witness. Can't wait to see what they have to offer up in the next coming matches, in the next coming stages rather, of the brackets. But what a performance. And Zenny at the top as well. Look at just how much impact she found in that game.
Yeah, definitely. Off the back of like those paint shells, especially,
At the end.
they were so devastating to Hurricanes. I think she picked up like what, probably 3 or 4
So
kills
many.
with the paint shells
Hmm.
and the boombot as well. So her utility usage in that sense to push the players of Hurricanes off of the aggressive angles was amazing there.
Yeah, absolutely. However, that is just the first matchup of the day, folks. We do have 2 more games coming up. It is the upper bracket finals and the lower bracket semifinals we have coming up. But for now, Tatum and Grammy will be right back for the VCT Game Changers Academy here in APAC. So don't go anywhere.